Proven that this is still a country where you can come from having nothing and earn millions, even billions of dollars with a successful business. Take a look at this. Just a few of the billionaires and multi-millionaires. We have tennis pro Maria Sharapova. She earned $29.7 million last year. Oprah Winfrey, worth $3 billion. Tennis great Serena Williams, how much do you think? $24.6 million last year. Beyonce and Jay-Z, the highest paid music industry couple, worth $1 billion plus. So how did they do it? Well, most successful entrepreneurs will say they stayed in the game when there was no money coming in. And why? Because it was their passion. Let me introduce you to the author of The Ultimate Passionpreneur, Eric Anderson. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us.
Thanks again.
It's a pleasure. So this is still the land of the opportunity, huh?
It is.
If you have passion, huh?
If you have passion or you have something that you love to do, you can turn it into a business.
Wow. Well, a little bit about you.
Okay.
From your beginnings to, most of the people that I wanted to include today were people who just came up, they said they pulled themselves up from their bootstraps.
Right.
And I'm not sure what your beginning was, but were you born with a silver spoon?
Nope, was not born with a silver spoon. I grew up in foster care and lived in group homes and foster homes, and I was taught a magic trick as a kid and fell in love with it. And I said, you know what, this is what I want to turn into a business for me. And at the time, didn't know exactly how, but I figured it out along the way. So.
Wow, well, that's a big dream. Were you able to tell anyone? Was there anyone who said, I'm going to help you, Eric?
Not initially. I mean, I had a few friends that did what I did, and I kind of followed in their footsteps a little bit, not realizing I wasn't really following a correct path at the time.
So there were things you had to learn.
Correct, right. A lot of stuff I had to learn.
Wow, but it became your passion, huh?
Yep.
Now, I did read some excerpts of your book, okay? And it is The Ultimate Passionpreneur, and I want to read this one for you. I found it very interesting. She said, brother, here we serve pancakes 3 ways. You could have your pancakes thick and light like Halle Berry, brown and thick like Beyonce, or extra thick and dark like Whoopi Goldberg. Brother, how would you like your pancakes? And I said, I want my pancakes like Beyonce. And she says, brother, we'll have those pancakes out to you in a minute. As she was walking away, I began texting 10 friends to tell them to come to this IHOP. So that's an example of she had passion for her job, huh?
She had passion and she added personality to her job. And she made it unique to her. And I mean, immediately, like I said, I started texting and I've taken friends there, you know, just because she added personality to what she was doing. And she was.
So what will someone get from the Ultimate Passionpreneur? People are walking around, I would say everybody, walking around believing that I have a business in me, but not knowing how to get that business out of them.
Well, for the in the Ultimate Passionpreneur, it's a 3-step process. First, I show you how to tap into your passion. So what is it that you truly love to do, right? So, I mean, you have to discover what that is. The second T, the first T is tap. The second T is you have to translate that into a product or service that people will invest in. That's the key part. People will invest in. A lot of people have something they love to do, then they really don't have a real effective model as far as turning it into a business.
Now, invest in someone helping you to develop your product, or invest that they will go to the store and purchase it.
Correct. So they will go to the store, online, just whatever it is for you, and
so somebody has to be willing to spend money for it. Okay. Yep. And then the third T.
The third T is you have to tie in effective marketing, and that's one of the parts that people miss. Everybody thinks if I just love to do it, if I build it, they will come, and that's not the case. A lot of people love to do what they do, but they have to get the word out. So how do you do that? So in the book, I walk through some very effective and powerful marketing strategies that, you know, anybody could use to.
Okay. Yeah. Without giving away everything in the book, what are some of the strategies? Where do we miss it sometimes? Because we see ourselves as someone who can make this go, but we cannot figure out what we're doing wrong. If it's marketing, what are some of the things that we're doing wrong?
Well, one very powerful thing is what we're doing right now is media, right? Now, there's different types of media. Obviously, this is television, but there's radio media, there's online media, there's print advertising. But another very effective form of media is just going out and talking about what you do, actually doing it for people. And when people experience it, it's no different than when you go to the mall and they're giving away free samples in the food court. right? You enjoy the sample. If assuming you enjoy it, you go back and buy the food. So one very simple thing to do is to give free samples of what it is that you do. And once enough people experience it, you can start to develop a following and an audience.
Here's another passage from your book, and it reads, "My passionpreneurship has allowed me to create my dream life and provide for my two amazing children in amazing ways. I live the lifestyle I want to live on my own terms. I'm able to be flexible, and I have designed my life so that I can live my life the way I want to live it." That's what everybody's looking for, isn't it?
Right.
Well, but it wasn't easy, was it?
No, it wasn't easy.
Okay.
I mean, I had to figure it out. So, so for me, one process was I started to identify what I did not like in my business at the time. And I said,
okay, give me an example.
Okay, so one simple example was, in my case, clients wanted to invoice me 30, 90 days out. So now all of a sudden I'm waiting 3 months for money. Well, I said, okay, I don't like this. How do I rewrite that script? So I rewrote it, I changed it, and for the most part, they pay me up front now. And so I would just identify things I did not like, and I would change that into business.
Okay.
And until it's designed around what I want. Everything's not perfect, but for the most part, it's around what I want to do when I want to do it.
What do you say to someone who's intimidated, Eric, and they think, "Oh, Eric, you're probably 10 times smarter than me," or, "Oh, Eric, you have friends who are rich," or something? There's always this excuse that people have why they can't do it, and they're intimidated. What would you say to them about jump in the water?
I say go do it. So my background, do not know my parents, grew up in foster care, didn't have a silver spoon, didn't know anybody, but I believe we all have unfair advantages. We all have unfair advantages.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So all of us have skills
Right, we all
that
have
someone
skills.
else may not have.
Right, that somebody else may not have, and the goal is to identify what those skills are, use your unfair advantage to your advantage, and just
don't be ashamed of it, huh?
Exactly, right. Do you? I mean, don't run from it. So initially, growing up in foster care, that was something I hid from. Right, I didn't really tell people about it, and then once I started talking about it, I realized, wow, there's a message in my mess, so to speak. So I started to kind of speak and talk about that.
So what, was that your unfair advantage, that you had a powerful story? What was your unfair advantage?
Well, that was one of them. That was one of them. The other thing is we all have unique skill sets. And not one thing people do is they discount what they do. So for me, my skill set was magic, right? I fell in love with magic as a kid. And a lot of people said, "Oh, you can't make a living doing that. You can't do this. You can't do that." When in fact, once I ran towards that, I see a lot of people are trying to run away from what they're good at, but you run towards it and you show people this is what makes me unique to the world. And you display it, you present it with pride, and once people see that enthusiasm, they gravitate towards you, and it's infectious.
I love it. I love it. Well, you're going to come back in just a little bit on the show, okay? And we're going to show some of that magic. Now, the book is an easy